Well, thousands of residents in La Palma in the Canary Islands have been urged to leave their homes as emergency workers try to bring a wildfire under control. Let's speak to Sharon Backhouse, who's Director of GeoTenerife. Sharon, just as everyone was trying to leave, you actually arrived yesterday, I believe. How come you ended up there?
Yes, good morning, Graham, from the lovely island of La Palma. Yes, we come over to La Palma regularly to do our science trips and research, and we were due to come yesterday with our international students who are on a summer training program. So obviously we've been monitoring the situation closely because we're staying in El Paso, quite close, just a few kilometers from this wildfire. But the authorities, I have to say, are all collaborating with local emergency services and national services that have arrived in the island, and they're doing a great job at keeping everybody safe. They had to evacuate over 4,000 people over the weekend. And of course, the concern was that it wasn't just a forest fire, it was threatening 2 towns and some urban areas. But some people are gradually being allowed to go back. There is an area still on the southern flank of the fire, which is threatening Caldera de Taburiente, which is not too far from where we are now. So they're fighting to control that sort of perimeter at the moment. But they've done an amazing job, I have to say.
Just describe to us the scale of this. And I mean, have you seen this with your own eyes?
Yes, so we're here and, we're talking about 45 square kilometres of area that has been affected. So that's over 6% of the area of the island. And if you're talking over 4,000 people who received an evacuation order when the population of the island is only around 90,000, it's a significant event here. And obviously the concern first and foremost was to keep people safe. When the fire broke out at about 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday night, people were woken up by the smell of smoke. Of course, we'd had a prolonged period of extreme heat. Everything was dry. We hadn't had much rain. And we had high gusts of wind, which meant it spread really ferociously. So people literally ran out with what they were wearing. And there are about 20 homes which have been completely devastated. And those people literally have lost everything, all their papers, everything. So our concern now is to make sure that once this is resolved, that people are helped. Because in the wake of the 2021 eruption here in La Palma, a lot of promise was helped, but there are still families who are struggling to get back on their feet. So it's not just the immediate incident; it's the ongoing impact on an island that's been having 1 or 2 big issues to cope with, and they need a lot of support to recover from that.
How do you feel the authorities have coped with it?
Do you know, they launched a new messaging system for which they've been trialling on other islands, and they used it very successfully here. So everybody in the area got a sort of very loud warning message on their mobile phones. So when the evacuation order was issued, people were contacted very, very quickly. And the messaging from the authorities here has been consistent. It's been very clear. So that has been so fantastic to see. So people know what they need to do, where they need to go. And they've been really collaborative. And that's not an easy thing to achieve because you've got lots of different institutions collaborating, lots of different emergency services. And that has been really incredible to see. So they've dealt with that and they've put themselves in harm's way to really try to get this under control. So people here are extremely grateful. So all of that, I have to say, has been a really good thing to see.
And you mentioned the houses that have been evacuated and people who've lost their homes. But are their homes still under threat, or do you feel that things are now under control?
So they have concentrated on the flanks which were threatening properties, homes and towns. And for now, the temperatures have eased, the winds have died down, and that does seem to be that they have a defined perimeter in the areas that they have concentrated on. The concern now is this flank which goes into the national park, which they're working on today to try and control that, because obviously that is an area that is sensitive. But quite rightly, the president of the Canary Islands said, first and foremost, it's people, then it's homes, and then it's the natural spaces that we're going to concentrate on. And that's exactly what they've done. And I think that was absolutely the right thing to do.
OK, Sharon Backhouse, Director of GeoTenerife.